The latest Florida head coaching rumors right now, it's Kiffin or bust for the Gators, right? We've talked about it a lot. We'll talk about it a little more because the mentality is still there for Florida. Ole Miss ultimatum, is it true or is it not? We'll hear from Lane on that because he was on the Pat McAfee Show. And while Lane's doing all this, the family's traveling right now. Rumors all around involving the Florida head coaching job and, of course, Plan B going into all of this. Can we get an answer this week? Do you think that could happen? Will Lane Kiffin make a decision on leaving Ole Miss, going to Florida, going to LSU, everything happening with the Gators? Will Lane Kiffin make his decision this week? Type Y for yes and for no. Let's get into it. The idea of Lane Kiffin or bust for the Florida Gators has become a stronger mentality in the athletic office. Tom Downey discussed it a little bit in the last video we did on the Florida coaching rumors. But that idea of being Kiffin or bust, all in on Kiffin, going for Kiffin, however else I can put it, it is strong right now as Swamp 247 putting that to the forefront of their reporting right now. The exact quotes in their recent rumors reports talking about Lane Kiffin being the guy for Florida, everything for Florida. Since day one, Kiffin has been Florida's top choice, a sentiment shared by athletic director Scott Stricklin, the university's most influential boosters and fans. The key here, no clear plan B has emerged in Florida's coaching search, according to the individuals Swamp 247 spoke with. Potential candidates such as James Franklin, who we know is now off the table, and Missouri's Eli Drinkwitz have been floated as exactly that, potential candidates, but nothing more. We'll actually get into potential candidates. We don't want to leave you without plan Bs later in this one. But the Gators, playing Kiffin or nothing, playing a dangerous game. That's what this is. This is a very dangerous game to go after one guy for the future of your program, going all in, especially with Lane Kiffin, who probably is trolling everyone, having a really, really good time with the search and everything happening right now. And Florida's all in on him. Florida's all in on him. And as it goes for Lane right now, Ole Miss is possibly tired of the games, of the search, of the rumors. As we get the report from the Athletics' Stuart Mandel, Ole Miss told Lane Kiffin he needs to decide by November 28th's Egg Bowl. We got an ultimatum, folks. An ultimatum. Never good, never healthy. I'll give my opinion on that in a sec. But essentially, Ole Miss wants to know what's going on now. They need to know what's happening with Lane Kiffin. Is he staying? Is he leaving Florida, LSU, Ole Miss? They want to know by the Egg Bowl. That's the decision, the deadline, whatever. That's when they want it. And my question, I know for the question a lot of you, is if the ultimatum is happening or true or out there for Lane Kiffin, or what? What if he decides not to give them a decision? Does that mean he doesn't get to coach them going forward? Well, the Athletic added in their report saying a little bit that they don't know what the solution is if he doesn't commit, right? The result of that, what happens then, is unknown. I mean, Ole Miss is a top 10 team. They're a playoff team. They have a lot of games ahead of them, and yet they want Lane Kiffin to make a decision right now. When it comes to ultimatums, the answer is there. The fact that you had to give the ultimatum should tell you what's happening, right? The ultimate, no pun intended, ultimate ultimatum is like people saying, marry me or we're broken up. Well, they didn't propose yet. They're not going to do it because you're threatening to leave most of the time, I would say. So the ultimatum is the answer, right? And a lot of you are saying this is unfair. Lane Kiffin's trying to coach a team. Lane Kiffin's trying to get these guys to the playoff. They shouldn't have to make him decide now. I don't know. If you're Ole Miss, you take a look around and you see Matt Rule sign a gigantic extension and stay with Nebraska, up for plenty of jobs, should I note. Curt Cignetti, the hottest name on the market. Ole Miss sees him commit to the Hoosiers going forward. I don't think it's unfair to ask the same of Kiffin to decide on this ultimatum, especially you think about the things that Ole Miss will have to deal with if Kiffin leaves, right? You go into the transfer portal. You have to deal with that. You have to go into hires. You have to deal with the PR nightmare. All of it. All of it's going to happen. And the idea that it's just, well, let's hang back and see what Lane decides, and we'll get his answer soon, and then we'll go from there. That's why I think it's possible, and this rumor could be true, that they gave him an ultimatum. What do you think? Let's say Lane Kiffin pulls what I think would be a Lane Kiffin, and he goes, okay, I'll let you know, and then just keeps coaching the rest of the year. What happens if Lane Kiffin doesn't commit? Type F if you think he'll be fired, or type N if nothing happens and they let him coach it out. Kiffin, speaking of being Lane, jumps onto the Pat McAfee Show. That's where he wanted to get that interview in, and it was great because we all wanted to know if the ultimatum, his thoughts on if it was true and what was going on with it. So he goes on the Pat McAfee Show. By the way, before he even did that, the morning of course, he gave out his book page, which he does a lot, by the way. This isn't, if you're a subtweeter or a context reader or a read between the lines guy, when he puts something like this out, I think it's all fun. I think it's all interesting, but it is a joke as to like, hey, with all the drama going on, here's my inspirational thoughts for the day. And of course, have the best Tuesday ever, everybody, right before he's about to go on McAfee and blow up everything. Or I don't know. The energy behind it's crazy. It's pure rumors energy for Lane Kiffin right now. So he goes on the McAfee Show, and surprise, surprise, nothing. Actually, literally nothing is what he said. There has been no ultimatum, he tells Pat McAfee. That's absolutely not true. And a little Lane Kiffin edition on the end there. We're having a blast. I love it here. Really just no answer, right? And Pat didn't ask him anything specifically about Florida or LSU. So that's that, right? That's where we're at. He said there was no ultimatum. I don't know. Could be a lie. Could probably be a lie. It's Lane Kiffin. It's Lane Kiffin, right? We talk about being Lane or whatever else with Lane Kiffin, But at the same time, I still think about, like, Lane Kiffin's smart. His Alabama experience should tell him that, like, leaving late in the process is hard to do. He may be thinking the exact same thing. Like, hey, I have to get a coaching staff together. I have to get transfer portal candidates. I have to take my Ole Miss guys with me. He may say to himself, yeah, maybe I should leave if he doesn't believe this is a good enough team to win the college football playoff. I don't know. Maybe Lane's considering. Everything's up in the air. That's the fun of discussing rumors and checking in on rumors, which we constantly are here on Chat Sports and College Football Now. Right now, though, do want to let you guys know that this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks. The hard-hitting football action is even better with Prize Picks. The weather might be changing, but the feeling of being right never gets old. So keep the season rolling on Prize Picks by getting $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. You can follow other Prize Picks users directly on the app and copy their lineups in one click. Whether it's a friend, a celebrity partner, or just someone whose picks you take, hit the follow button and check out every lineup they create in the new feed tab. A good example, I love what our guy producer Aiden puts together a lot of the time here at Chat Sports. So I did just that and copied his Derrick Henry going against the Jets, Lamar Jackson going against the Jets, and a new quarterback for the Jets. More on Derrick Henry's rush yards for the second straight week. I like it. That's 86.5. Less, though, for Jackson because Henry is going at it. On his passing yards, Lamar Jackson, 218.5, going less there. And Tyrod getting in there. Why are you going to go Tyrod if you're not going to let him go at it more on his 181.5 passing yards for the Jets? I also like to note to people that on Prize Picks, how you play is up to you. If you want flexibility, choose Flex Play, where you can get paid even if your picks misses. And if you want the biggest payouts, go for the Power Play. No matter how you play, Prize Picks is a great way to put your takes to the test. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, it's good to be right. What fun would coaching rumors be without tracking some private plane flights to and from, when and where, what schools brought who, where to check out? I don't know. We'll go through Baton Rouge and Gainesville. The flights going there was confirmed that the Kiffin family visited both cities. That was a part of the athletic report that we talked about earlier. More details in that from Stuart Mandel, talking a little bit about not Kiffin, but his family. A source confirmed that LSU sent a private plane for Kiffin's family to visit Baton Rouge on Monday, and the Kiffins took a similar trip to Gainesville the day before. Lane was not on either trip. The Advocate, and On3 first reported these visits, and it takes my brain back immediately. Very triggering as a Cavs fan, by the way. This is LeBron free agency 2010. Where's he headed? Who's he having dinner with? This team's all in on LeBron doing this, that, and the other, which, by the way, I said Florida, dangerous game to be all in, and maybe it doesn't work. That's how you end up with Amari Stoudemire in the LeBron free agency, by the way. Just a fun little note there if it doesn't work out for Florida. And you know, the odds continue of who's there because you do want to keep an eye on Plan B or other options. Kalshi with some odds there, 55%. It'll be Lane Kiffin, 14%. It'll be Jed Fish. Lincoln Riley, thanks a lot, Josh Pate, just chucking that name into it. When BetOnline had their odds, which we use a lot of BetOnline, by the way, that's gone now, which I thought was very interesting for the Florida head coaching job. It was Kiffin at the top. It's Ben Kiffin at the top. Minus 200. You can see the only one in the minus situation there for it. And, you know, going through all the others, names that have been there, names that continue to be there. Florida, it stays interesting for Gator fans and the Gator community looking at their options. There's a lot of them. They're discussed in different ways. I think it is very, very interesting there. And it leads me to the question we've asked all along, and I want to hear from you at this point in time because it changes. The rumors are flying. Who will be Florida's next head coach? Let us know down below. Did want to note, though, these are the names not going to be the head coach. This has changed, so we like to update you guys or cross this off our rumors list. James Franklin, hired by Virginia Tech. Seemed like a match made in heaven all along. So Franklin's off the board. And then an interesting note, Kenny Dillingham from Arizona State, he is off the board as Swamp247 said he turned down a spot in the candidate line. Interesting there because he kind of noted in their article and rumor reporting that Dillingham didn't want to wait behind Kiffin or be a part of that search when Kiffin's number one, this, that, and the other. Speaking of Dillingham, I saw his name on the LSU head coaching odds, and I was looking there because I wanted to see where Kiffin stood on that bad boy. Yeah, Kiffin not at the top of LSU. It seemed like it would be Kiffin to LSU and then maybe Florida all along, but right now Dillingham being discussed for that gig, and I like Kenny Dillingham a lot, by the way. I don't get the Nick Saban situation, and then Joe Brady, you know, previously linked to LSU and that connection and whatnot, so I think that's kind of very interesting there. And my takeaway, of course, I walk away thinking from that, it's wild to me. After everything we've been through, after all the rumors we've discussed over a few months now, really, since Billy Napier was fired, I guess a month, you know, it's down to Florida and Ole Miss, not LSU, right? We thought it would be Florida or LSU, really LSU and then maybe Florida, but now it's just stay at Ole Miss or go to Florida. That's where it seems to be for Lane Kiffin. And again, it's very surreal. The rumors we've reported and given to you guys, and you guys have given feedback, and we've discussed here on CFB now, so interesting. And at this point in time, you have to stay up to date on these things because they are changing daily. We will find out more on the ultimatum, if it is real. Other candidates thrown into the mix. How real is Lane Kiffin to Florida? Is it a troll job all along by Lane Kiffin? Make sure you hit that sub button so you are up to date on everything Florida head coaching search.